So the first thing I'm going to do is create the center lines I would use to draw the holes. So I'm going to go to my construction line layer and type XL, enter, and make the horizontal line for the holes. And then I'll make a vertical line kind of randomly. So that'll be the center of the holes on the left. And then I'm going to offset this vertical line to the hole on the right. And if you look at the drawing for the guide, it says that distance is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to type O for offset and then 3.5, enter. Click that line and offset it over. So that's where those holes will go. The next dimension I'm going to draw is the distance to the top. So they're showing the distance from this center line to the top as 1 3/4 of an inch. So I'll do that. And I just hit enter to get out and then enter to get back into offset. And then the distance is 1.75, enter. Click that line upward. So that is the very top of our object. The thickness of this plate on top is 1/2 of an inch. So I'll offset that one down 1/2 inch. Again, that was enter to get out, enter to get back in, and then 0.5 enter, and then clicking downward. And then I'll also put in the center line that goes through this whole thing. And that is being shown as 1.75 over. So there it is. All right. Now I'm going to go to my object layer and draw these circles. See, enter. And this guy, his radius, I should say his diameter is 5/8. So that would make his radius 5/16. So I could type 5/16 right now because AutoCAD always asks for the radius. Or I could change that to diameter by typing D and then enter. And now I can enter in the diameter. And the diameter, again, is 5/8. So I can just type that, 5/8, enter. And then I'll do the same over here. Click this guy and just hit enter. All right. So now it is time to do the arcs that go around these circles. And they have a 3/4 radius. That's what the drawing tells us. So that's 0.75. And I'll do the same over here. Just click and type 0.75 or just hit enter because it remembers. Okay. So things are going pretty well. I'm going to connect these lines on the bottom. And then where I draw the line up to on the top is not yet determined. It's definitely going to be tangent to this circle, and it's going to go somewhere up here. But how wide is the question? And the answer, if you look at the drawing, is 5/16 of an inch from the center. So it shows this tab up on top being 5/16 from center. So if I hit offset, O, enter, and then, I'm sorry, that was 15/16, and I type in 15/16, 15/16, and then I hit enter. I can offset this center line in both directions, and that is how wide the tab is. So the tab is that right there. And of course, there is a hole going down through its center. But so the tab is drawn, and now all I need to do is draw the line that goes from the corner of the tab tangent to this arc, and I'm getting the tangent snap. There it is, click. And I'll do it again over here. Tangent, there it is. Great. I can turn off my construction lines momentarily and trim out the inside of these arcs. It's going pretty good. The only thing I have left to do as far as object lines are concerned is extend this line down a little bit. And that exact distance is 3/8 of an inch. And the reason I have to do that is because there is actually, if you look on the drawing, a radiused support underneath here. So I need to offset this line right here, 3/8 of an inch, 3/8, and then extend this line down to that. And again, that line is showing us an edge where there is a radius. It'll be more obvious when we do the right side view. Let's do the top view now. So I'm going to make a new horizontal line. And start offsetting the different widths in the top view. The total width of this part, as you can see from the drawing, is 1 5/16 plus 15/16. So we can offset those distances. I'll do the 15/16 first. So O, enter 15/16, and click this line that way. And then the next distance is the 1 5/16. And to enter that in, you'll have to do it as an improper fraction. So 1 5/16 would actually be 21/16. So that's what you'll have to type, 21/16. Or you could type the decimal value. There you go. And then I'm going to offset this guy, the thickness of this plate, which is 1/2 of an inch. So the distance from here to here was 15/16. The distance from here to here was 1 5/16, or 21/16. And then the distance from here to here is just 1/2 of an inch. And those dimensions are all coming off the drawing that we were given. So now we have quite a bit of information here. I do want to run a vertical construction line up from this circle here, so I'm going to do that. And just go from there to there and there. I could do these holes if I wanted to right now, which is not a bad idea. I think I'll just knock that out right now. Okay, so we're ready to do this top view in object lines. And then the tab itself. turn off the construction lines and trim this stuff out. There we go. Turn them back on. Make this circle here. So this hole that goes in here is a 7/8 diameter. So I'm going to type D, enter, and then 7/8. There you go. That line should have been solid. All right. Okay, so that is it for the top view. And now we'll do the right side view. I will put a transfer line here. All right. I'm ready to tackle the right side view. And there is this radius I was talking about in here. So what would that look like? I just need to go to my fillet command right here, fillet, and type R, enter, and the radius is 3/8, 3/8, and click this line and click that line. So that is what it looks like. I do need to fix this a little bit. I'll drag that back over there. And I do need to insert another line from here to here. And that is it. So as far as the object lines go, the drawing is complete. Let's do the holes. So I need to put in center lines and hidden lines. Such. Go to my hidden layer first. So these guys go here. And then here. I'm going to bounce this this hole down into the other views. So let me do that right now. All right, I've got those construction lines created, and now I can draw its hidden lines. Good. Okay, now for the center lines. And the center lines, remember, we need to be able to draw them 1/4 of an inch beyond the object. So I need to offset my lines and arcs 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go O, enter, and go 0.25, enter, and start offsetting these construction lines quite a bit in order to do these arcs as well, in order to have a place to click on when I'm doing all of these lines, all of these dimensions. Again, creating a sort of a grid, quarter-inch grid. I'm not exactly sure at the moment what I will need, but it doesn't hurt to have extra lines. Okay then. So now I've done all this offsetting with the quarter-inch value. I can go to my center layer and just knock this out. So get started here on the easy ones. This one I'm going to go all the way through because this object is symmetrical about that axis. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This one I'm going to show that these are all on the same axis, like that. So I think that's it for the center lines. I'm going to turn off my construction so I can see what's going on. And now I'm just going to delete these ones I didn't use. Just get rid of these guys that I was just using for spacing. Okay. And now I'm going to make sure that everything's looking good here. Things are looking pretty good. This center line is causing me a little trouble. The way it's intersecting in the middle here is a little disconcerting. It kind of indicates when they come together that there's some sort of a hole there. So that might actually be confusing, and I'm going to pull that back. So having it go the full length in this view should be adequate enough. So that should indicate to anybody looking at that this object is symmetrical. But having it in this view just kind of created some confusion there. Because when two center lines intersect, that most people are going to assume there's some sort of a hole there, which was not the case. Okay, so the drawing itself is complete, and the next step is to do the dimension lines. So I'll turn the construction lines back on, and we'll get started on that. Go to my dimension layer, click the dimension tool, my linear dimension tool, and here we go. Half inch away from the object. Boom, there it is. Let's do the overall height of this object. So this is going to be before I click here, this is going to be for reference only. So I'm going to type M, enter, and put the parenthesis in front and behind, green check mark. There he is. And I'm going to move these extension lines to the other side there. There we go. The overall width is also going to be for reference only. So I'm going to do that again in this view and place that dimension here. But before I do, I'm going to type M, enter, and put a parenthesis before and after, check mark. And there we go. This is a good view to show the thickness of this piece, which is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to indicate that right there and then move that dimension to the center. It's also a good place to show this thickness. So there you go. Nice. Okay. Locating the center line for these holes will be done like this. I'll go from the top here to that point and then place it 1/2 inch away right there. And I'll do a similar thing here where I will go from this edge to this center line and then place it there. There we go. That's pretty much it for the linear dimensions. I could indicate the distance from center to one of these guys, one of these center lines, which they did on the drawing that they gave us. It would be unnecessary if we understood this to be a symmetrical object, which this line going all the way through it should indicate that. But because the engineer showed us that distance, I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna honor his request there, or his intent, I should say, and do the same. So I'm gonna go from here to here, place that dimension like that, and that is showing us the distance from the center line to that center line. I'm going to zoom in there a little tighter. I think I clicked on the wrong line here. Make sure I didn't miss that. Going from the center to this one here. There it is. Okay. So I do believe that that's it for the linear dimensions. And we'll now go for the arcs. So I'm going to change my dimension tool to radius. And I'll put this guy to work. Okay, I think that's it for the arcs. Let's go to the circles, diameter dimensions, and we'll get this guy here. And get these two over here. There are two of them, so I'm going to type M, enter, and put a 2 capital X in front of it, and a space, check mark, and then place that dimension.